Hello and welcome to today's Oboe Windfree. Some of you might know today's guest for her sensational TikTok performances during lockdown. It has to be said, she hit the ground dancing and making us laugh. But Oonagh Keogh is also one of the violinists with the Irish Chamber Orchestra. Oonagh, how are you today?
I'm very well, Matthew. Lovely to see you.
You too. Thank you very, very much for taking the time. Now, before we get on to the topic of all your upcoming performances for the ICO's online work, just give me a quick run through your TikTok journey.
Gosh, it's so funny the way people are so interested in that. It just started. My daughter was doing all these little dances as a lot of people her age were. She's 17 when lockdown started. She's 18 now, and just one of the days I sort of said, oh, let me try one of those. And she said, okay, I'll teach you a very simple one, Mum. You know, so she taught me this very simple one to do, which I did. And I thought, you know what, people are a bit down and a bit depressed with this whole lockdown. And I said, I'd just post it on Facebook just for the laugh. And, you know, it might just give people a bit of a laugh. So I did. And the reaction was great. Everybody thought it was funny, you know, me doing a dance. So I carried on doing them with her, and it sort of went into doing a few little comedy ones as well, and we had great fun doing them. And it was just nice to get the feedback and people saying, oh, that was funny, you know. So I think we all needed a bit of a laugh during lockdown, so I'm happy to be the jester. Laugh at myself and then everyone laugh at me, it's fine. You know?
You did a very good job. Now, I know you've been doing a lot of stuff for the ICO, but you're also a member of the Whistle Blast Quartet.
I am.
What have you guys been doing during lockdown?
You know, we've been so busy, Matthew. The Whistle Blast is a great quartet. It's Mary Curran on horn, Conor Linehan on piano, Kenneth Edge saxophone, and myself. And we had been travelling around doing composition workshops in schools. So what we did was we just took it all online, really. So we've been continuing with the project, and we've started a brand new one now. And we're working currently with 6 schools all around the country, and it's all online. We do little short bites with them, and it's interesting because a lot of the classes are all at home. They're, you know, doing their studying from home, so we have all these little faces popping up on the screen. But anyway, we're looking forward to when they're back in their classroom. At least we won't be able to go back to them, but we'll still carry on online, and it's actually been very effective, and I think they've enjoyed it. We also have a free online thing we've been doing so that anybody can get involved. You know, so if you Google Whistle Blast, you'll see us there. And we were lucky enough to get the great Tommy Tiernan to help us launch it. He did a little video with us where we did always look on the bright side of life, because the project's called Let's Laugh, because again we thought everyone just needs to be cheered up really at the moment. So it's been really rewarding. It's really fun. And
how has your online violin teaching been?
Oh, that's been very busy as well, and you know, it was in the beginning it was tough because it's something I'd never done, and I think most of us that do teach found it very challenging, and just the whole, if the Wi-Fi signal isn't good, it's very challenging. But you know, I was just thinking about this in recent days, that I actually feel I have grown closer to my students. I've learned more about them through teaching them online, because I get a little glimpse into their world. I've met their pets, I've met their family members, you know, that I wouldn't normally see. They just come in and have their lesson and they go. So it's been fun, and I had a very funny incident the other day with one pupil who started laughing while I was demonstrating something high up on the violin. I said, well, what's so funny? And he said, I'm just looking out the window and the chickens are pecking around, and every time you play that high note, one of the chickens just looks up. So I said, turn the camera around, let me see the chickens. So he turned the camera around and I was playing, and I could look at the chicken kind of pecking, and then every time I played up high, the chicken would look at me, you know. So just things like that you know, obviously you would never get if you were just had them in your room teaching them, you know. So it's been good, and a lot of talking as well. I mean, I kind of start every lesson saying, how are you? You know, how are you getting on? Because they're finding it so challenging, you know, these kids, whether they're in primary or secondary school. It's been, you know, it's been hard for them. But I have found that they've all been practicing more because they have more time. If they're not in school, they have more time to practice, and I found the progress has been huge as well, you know. So, you know, there are some benefits to it, you know, so let's look on the bright side.
Absolutely, absolutely. And on to the ICO's online work. You and Aveen have recorded the Connemara Lullaby, and it's going to be released on Mother's Day. I just wanted to ask, why did you pick that piece? And also, how do you feel about Mother's Day in lockdown?
Well, I chose the piece because there was, the suggestion was made that maybe a lullaby or something like that would be good. And just immediately the thing that popped into my head was the Connemara Cradle Song, which is a tune that comes from a place dear to my heart, Connemara. I love the west of Ireland, and that's where I run my summer school. And I've been going there since I was a child, and while on holidays there, I remember hearing it and hearing people singing it. And my mother would sing it to me when I was small too. I knew it already, and she actually did a little arrangement of it for me to play on the violin as well when I was very small. And I hadn't played it in years really, or thought about it very much. So I thought, well, it'd be nice to do an arrangement of that for violin and cello. So I did. So anyway, hopefully people will enjoy it. You don't hear it very often. You hear people singing it. It's a nice traditional Irish song, but I haven't come across many instrumental versions. So hopefully people will like this one.
Fantastic. And we come to the next release in the orchestra's ICO online series, which is called Fear's Voyage. Without saying too much, you are the voice of fear. And you guide us through this magical journey, which was filmed off the stunning coastline of Kerry by the fantastic filmmaker Vincent Hyland, and inspired by the ICO's recording of the Hebrides Overture. I think I might have given a bit too much away there, but it is another great collaboration, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah,
I wanted to ask, what can you remember about the recording of the Hebrides Overture that the orchestra made with Jörg Widmann back in 2015?
I know, it's all recordings and performances, rehearsals, everything to do with Jörg Widmann is just such a pleasure. And I do remember, we have such a close connection with Jörg and with Mendelssohn. All his recordings of Mendelssohn have been just so amazing and so fulfilling. And I suppose a lot of Mendelssohn has so many beautiful wind solos in it. As you well know, Matthew, you're in the wind section, so just such beautiful playing, coming from the clarinets and from the oboes and from that whole section of the orchestra. And I suppose just the whole atmosphere and the build-up, it goes from such a calm, serene moments to really intense, quite turbulent moments. And it really matches so well with the photography that Vincent did. It's extraordinary. It's if you've ever watched David Attenborough films and you love those, then you'll love this. I mean, I'm very excited about it actually, because I saw it just yesterday for the first time put together, and it was quite emotional. I really found it really brought me along on this journey, and I'm just so delighted and thrilled to be part of it. And so I just hope people will get as much out of it as I think they will.
And what was it like going into a recording studio but without your violin?
Yeah, that is something. Yeah, it's unusual for me, I suppose. I have done a little bit of radio over the years, and it's a long time since I've done anything regular. But I did do a program at Christmas. I did a Christmas program where I did go into the studio without my violin, and I was introducing some music. So I had sort of a slight bit of experience with that, but it is always a little bit daunting because you sort of feel it's not like a comfort blanket or something going in with your instrument. Okay, I have my instrument, I know how to do this, but I suppose speaking in that isn't the first normal thing that I would be trained to do, so it's always a little bit more nerve-wracking to do something that's a bit out of your comfort zone. But I have to say I was nervous doing it. I didn't want to spoil it. It was just, I knew the music was so beautiful. I knew the photography was so beautiful. I didn't want to get in the way of that. Because sometimes you can hear something and think, oh, they ever be quiet. I want to just enjoy the music. So I really didn't want to do that. So I'm fingers crossed. I hopefully got it right. I hope it did anyway. But I enjoyed doing it. It was fun.
Yeah, it's completely magical what you've done.
Aww.
It's really, really excellent.
Oh, thank you.
Oonagh, it's great to catch up. So thank you very, very much. My guest next week is Vincent Hyland, the producer and filmmaker behind Fear's Voyage. Having seen the film, I am really excited about talking to him. Take care and see you next time.